Video from a sea drone attacking a Russian Navy ship operating in the Black Sea. A source tells CNN the strike was a joint operation by Ukrainian forces. CNN's Nick Payton-Walsh is live in Zaporizhia with more. Hi there, Nick. What more do we know about this attack?
Yeah, again, a sign of the unthinkable, frankly, happening to Russian troops inside of Russia. Novorossiysk, a port on the Black Sea, where you can see in these images here, supplied by Ukrainian officials, a drone appears to slowly approach the Olengorsky Gornyak ship. Now, a Ukrainian source says that it was hit by this device that carried just short of half a metric ton, 450 kilograms of explosive, a staggering payload. Frankly, this Ukrainian source saying that there may have been 100 Russian soldiers or personnel on board when this struck. So this now coupled with the attack on the Kerch Bridge again, which appears to have been performed by a Ukrainian drone as well, showing that along the Black Sea, a place that Russia for a long time has felt comfortable with its naval forces, is now deeply vulnerable to an attack like this. And a reminder possibly that while Russian forces may be holding in some parts of the southern frontier against Ukraine's renewed counter-offensive, which is perhaps seeing some progress in the east as well. Regardless of that, Ukraine is using new ingenious types of technology, drones like this, to target parts of what it would think, Moscow would think, would be its impregnable forces. We are now hearing from Russian officials their suggestion that the port of Novorossiysk is again functioning okay, back to normal, but this, frankly, startling images for Russians to wake up to again, particularly after the drone attacks they've been seeing on Moscow as well. Again, a sign, as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has been saying, that the war is gradually returning to Russian territory. Amara?
All right, Nick Payton-Walsh, appreciate your reporting as always. Thank you very much.
Ukraine is tamping down expectations around its counteroffensive, which has slowed down to a crawl because of complex Russian defensive lines. A top Ukrainian official says Russians have laid, quote, an insane number of landmines, up to 5 per square metre in some cases. He also says Ukrainians are now clearing those mines on foot, which you can see in this video taken by Ukrainian forces. The official adds that Ukrainians are not facing any deadlines to break through such heavily fortified areas. Meanwhile, Kyiv says Russia is bringing more battle-ready forces to Bakhmut to prevent further Ukrainian advances. Russians are also trying to push back along parts of the front line, but according to President Zelensky, they're not getting anywhere.
Frontline. The battles are tough. The occupiers are trying with all their might to stop our guys. The assaults are very fierce. But no matter what the enemy does, it is the Ukrainian forces that dominate.
The US turning up the diplomatic pressure on Russia over its attacks on Ukraine's grain infrastructure. Russian missiles have been pounding Ukrainian ports used for food shipments since Moscow pulled out of the Black Sea grain deal. But now the US is pushing a joint communique at the United Nations condemning the use of food as a weapon of war. The US says 91 countries have already signed it. Secretary of State Antony Blinken telling the Security Council on Thursday UN members must send a message to Moscow.
Every member of this council, every member of the United Nations should tell Moscow enough. Enough using the Black Sea as blackmail. Enough treating the world's most vulnerable people as leverage. Enough of this unjustified, unconscionable war.